Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me on this chat, Byron. So I'm Rachel Fishman, and I wanted to spend a few minutes asking you some questions because, as someone who's been a creator my whole life, and it done various types of performing, creating, things like that. I get really interested in hearing why other people create the things that they do.
Right.
And so that's why I wanted to ask you some questions. But what's even cooler about you and I having this conversation is that you're also, da, 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 you are my son. So this is even more exciting for me to see this level of creativity that you've exhibited in this project that you're undertaking. So I thought it'd be fun for me to have the opportunity to interview you because we don't get to have this type of conversation very often.
No, we do not.
So for anyone listening who doesn't know, this is Byron Jones. We are actually currently sitting one room apart because I am his mom. So he's over there and I'm over here. We're in two different rooms, but this is a cool opportunity for us to have a different kind of conversation. So thanks for entertaining me with this, Byron.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, so a couple of things that are really cool. So, Byron's always been super creative, but this newest project that he's undertaken is something I totally did not expect or see coming from him, and it's been really fun to watch. So if you haven't seen the first or listened to the first episode yet, Byron has started writing and creating and producing and casting and directing this audio series called Byron.
The Demon Who Owns a Garden.
The Demon Who Owns a Garden. Dun, dun, dun. And the first episode came out. Byron, tell me, what was the date of the first episode?
Well, the first episode came out 2 weeks ago. I don't have the exact date here. Give me just a second.
Okay, we'll share the date in a second, but it came out about 2 weeks ago. I remember when Byron put this out on YouTube and started, putting out there that this was something he created. I didn't even know. I mean, I knew he was working on something, but I didn't really know much about it. And I listened to the first episode and I was blown away at the level of professionalism and like what he was able to put together, the quality of the acting, the quality of the writing, the sound design, all of that. And what's super cool is that in a short period of time, considering this is his first time doing it, he already has how many views?
1,500, roughly.
1,500. Yeah, and that's just putting it on YouTube. He hasn't even taken a stab at putting it out on other platforms yet. So I think you have a goal of getting it out on some podcasting or different types of platforms, right?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, once the series progresses more, if I start making funds, I'll probably be putting it on Spotify, SoundCloud, other podcast sites that I'm not aware of just yet. But yeah, just anywhere I can really get it. I know SoundCloud is number one priority for me right now because that's easy. I just need to do it. Also, to answer the previous question, March 15th.
March 15th. So March 15th, that is not very long ago. So 1,500 views in a short period of time with very little advertising, just basic social media.
Yeah, kind of popped off.
Right. So, I mean, that's without a lot of work, and considering that many listens is pretty exciting. So
yeah.
We're going to dive deeper into what's coming next for The Demon Who Owns a Garden. But I want to start out with just asking you a couple questions. So,
okay.
You've heard what I had to say about Byron, and before I ask this question, I do just want to shout out how cool it is that he is wearing a Tears for Fears hoodie. So this makes
favorite
me
band
proud as a mom and a child of the 80s, seeing my son wearing a Tears for Fears.
Just so you know, Working Hour is the best Tears for Fears song, objectively, not subjectively, just letting you know.
All right, and we did, and Byron got to go to see them in concert this past summer with me. So,
I did, yeah, it was pretty nice.
So that's actually where that sweatshirt's from. So
yeah.
A couple questions. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Obviously, I know a lot about you, but I'd love for you to share with the community a little about you, what your interests are, talents, things like that.
Okay, so I have always been pretty interested in drawing, D&D, fantasy books, stuff of that nature, as well as fighting games, which is one of my biggest passions. I've competed in the past. Not the best, but I would like to say I'm competent. But with this audio project, I've really started getting interested in sound design, really interested in starting to develop music a little bit. I don't know. I've also really always liked writing, but I've never been able to quite finish anything. And this particular thing is an idea that's been floating around in my head for a couple of years, and I finally have it somewhere, and safe to say I'm quite happy about it.
Yeah, it definitely shows. I can say like I've gotten to see your excitement, and this is like propelling your energy, to keep moving forward and keep doing it, which is really, really cool to see. And I also just want to add, excuse me, want to add, because you haven't mentioned it yet, but that you have done a lot of acting in your background, and so
Yeah.
you actually are acting in this as well, right?
Yeah, so I won't spoil who the character is just yet, but there is a voice at the end that speaks in a sort of little monologue, if you will. I will say that he's going to be a very important character. Not as important as the characters currently introduced so far, but you'll be seeing a lot of him. Just
Awesome.
you wait.
All right. Okay, so talk about this. I mean, you gave a little bit of a touch of it just a second ago of this was an idea that you had in your head. So what made you start doing YouTube in the first place? I mean, you've been doing some content creation for
Yeah.
quite some time now. So what got you interested in doing that
Well, actually,
as a whole?
quite a long time ago. You know this, but my stepsister and I, we both got really into Minecraft. We were really into Minecraft YouTubers. We wanted to be like them. So I got this really bad recording software. I had this really bad mic that was just coming through my laptop or whatever I was using at the time. And we would record these 30 FPS, really short Minecraft videos of us on Hypixel or on Mineplex, and it was just the funniest little things. Eventually it evolved over time as I got more and more interested in content creation, started building up my skills. To be fair, my upload schedule is not the most consistent, but nowadays I upload fighting game montages or more high effort edits or no edit VODs, or now audio projects. So it's evolved quite exponentially over this past year, but for a while it was just me and a couple of friends messing around.
All right. So you're hoping to grow that then. It sounds like you've been, refining and kind
Yeah,
of working on improving what you're putting up there, but you got to start somewhere, right? So,
exactly. Yeah. And I have a bunch of people to thank. Like, I will definitely say that someone that really quite inspires me a lot, this guy named Dreezus. I've told you about them before, but very amazing content creator, very underrated. Wish that Dree would get more views. Really good Twitch streamer too, but all the edits that Dree does is really funny, hilarious, great edits. Look up to that guy. That guy's cool. Dree, if you watch this, love you, bro. Okay.
all right. So we're going to call out Dreezus, and maybe when Byron uploads this video, you'll get a tag, and maybe, so everyone should go and follow Dreezus as well as Byron, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And just to add, so Byron, tell me, what is your handle name that you use on YouTube and
Yeah,
every
so
place?
my handle that I use is late, LATEFGC. Meaning behind that is generally that for all the fighting games I play, I tend to always be late to the party.
Okay.
And so I build up over time and I get better, but I'm playing catch up the entire time. It's basically just a way of saying I'm an underdog. But
Right. Hey, everybody loves an underdog.
yeah, exactly.
So,
That's the whole point.
right? Hey, think about all like the big movies in history, right? Karate Kid or
Yeah.
like Dodgeball. Like everybody loves the underdog, and
Dodgeball is a great movie.
Dodgeball's great, but even like Karate Kid, right? Daniel-san, he ends up winning, right, with his like bird move, and he was the underdog. No one thought he could do it, but he beat out
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. Like, sorry, I'm dating myself here, but
You're good. You're good.
all right. So I actually never knew the background of your name. So all this time I've seen late GFC on your stuff, and I didn't really know what it meant. But
All good.
but thanks for calling it out. You can actually follow that, and that's your name on Instagram, right?
That should be my name on Instagram, and that should be my name on TikTok as well. I am
Okay.
working on getting a Facebook, but that'll take a bit. But yeah, late, LATEFGC. That's my handle pretty much everywhere. So yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. So thinking about your current project, so the hero who owns a garden.
The demon
So
who owns
the
a garden.
demon. I was on this hero thing with this like Mr.
I
Miyagi and
mean,
Daniel's son. So
you're
I
not
mean,
entirely wrong. You're not entirely
okay,
wrong.
so the G-Man who owns a garden.
Yeah.
So what started this? I mean, I know you talked about you had some inspiration. It was an idea in your head. So what actually started you doing this specific project?
So this dates me quite a bit too, but probably about, gosh, how long ago was that? That was like 12. No, that was like 10, maybe 9 to 10 years ago. How long ago was it that I was hanging out with that guy I was doing D&D with? That was like,
Oh gosh, in middle school
yeah,
probably. So
yeah,
if you
it's
think
like,
about how old you are now, middle school starts when you're about like 11 years old, 12
yeah,
years
so
old.
around
So
then, yeah,
you're almost
so
nine years,
yeah,
eight, 9 years ago.
yeah, 8 to 9 years ago, I was a part of a D&D campaign, and I had this idea for a character, and it was this Minotaur that was extremely powerful and was corrupted by a certain ancient being. I won't go into more details because it'll be delving into things I don't want y'all to know yet. But to put it simply, I had that character on a back burner for a long time since I wasn't in that D&D campaign anymore. And I joined a Minecraft server like 2 years ago, roughly now. And I'm like, you know what? I still have the D&D sheet for this character. I've never actually made a proper design for them. What if I just do that? And now I'm a part of this Minecraft roleplay, and I have this character with the same plot. He owns this giant tower that he doesn't realize is a conduit for a very evil being, and he owns a garden right next to it. So it just is this funny little connection, and ever since I kind of latched on to that character. And then I don't know if everyone on this channel knows this, but there's this game called Rivals of Ether. If you had seen one of the previous videos I uploaded, Rot, the Wind's Monk, I have helped make 2 mods for Rivals of Ether, and one of them was the character that inspired this whole thing, Abram. And that character concept and me being able to flesh it out in a game so that I know exactly how he moves, exactly what he does, everything. I had full direction over how that character works. I don't know, it just really kept solidifying in my brain. I want to use this guy in something that I write, in something that I make, in something whatever for years to come. And I've exhausted that pretty heavily, and basically my thought process was, I want to use this character one last time, and I want to use him for an audio project, because over the years I've built up my sound design skill. Over the years I've built up my love for ambient music and the ability to make it. And then over the years I've learned how to edit, and I have been somewhat keeping up my drawing skill. So combine that all together and you get a neat little package, and I can make an audio project. And then Casting Call Club, the saving grace that it is, allows me to just put it out there in the ether for a couple months. And then I just had all these amazing people flooding in wanting to audition for this cool project that I made. And some real heavy hitters too, by the way. I'm looking at all you guys in my Discord server. Y'all are awesome. And it just is stunning, to be honest, that this project has come alive in the way that it has. I literally could not thank you all enough. You guys mean a lot to me. I may have not known you. I may not know you all very personally. We just joke around. But you guys mean a lot. And I appreciate y'all a lot. And yeah, that kind of delved a little bit. So
That's okay. I think that's awesome. I think like gratitude is so important, and realizing like you couldn't have achieved it without all the people that kind of jumped on board and helped you make it happen. So just for people who don't know, Casting Call is a site for voice for all sorts of things, right? But this is where you found voiceover actors who were willing to provide their talent for you in order to do this. Plus you had some other folks, right, that participate that weren't necessarily through Casting Call as well, right?
So I have a lead writing editor who helps me just kind of, polish up my writing, make it look better. Rose, I'm looking at you. Thank you. And then I have Giga or Aaron, really close friend of mine. Known him for a few years. He's cool. He's gonna be helping me co-edit in future episodes. And then I also I won't say his name, but one of my coworkers is also helping with the narration of the project. I don't know why I shouldn't say his name, Matt Biggins, because I already said his name in the cast list. But I've got some really good people on this, and it's quite frankly, I'm very surprised at how many people wanted to audition for this project, because I had just written it up, I put it out there. The cast wasn't even fully completed when I sent it out. There was literally only 2 characters on the cast list when I sent it out. And then I added a bunch of characters over time, and people were just flooding in. And it's just great. I'm just,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I mean, I can say, like, as an actor, right, someone who's been doing that most of my life, is that sometimes if you want to become a professional, it means being willing to take on projects where maybe you're not making a lot of money, or you just want to put yourself out there so you can help build up your resume and get some things under your belt. So I think you're helping other people as well as them helping you, and you know, you're helping somebody build out a portfolio or a reel, or you know, something that they can use for future work. So
Yeah.
And they're helping you the same way. So I think that's awesome that you've been able to achieve that. And obviously you're very gracious, and I think that being a you know, running a project like that and being able to appreciate your cast and really show them that appreciation, I think means a lot. A lot of directors don't do that. So I think,
No,
you know,
they do not.
kudos to you for that. Okay, so if you haven't listened to the first episode yet, those of you listening to this now, you should. But the next question I have is, you know, hey, I know I am anxiously awaiting your second episode, and I don't even know what's to come. So can you give us any hints on where things might go, what direction this story might take us?
I do. Just give me a second while I look for my little list of things that I have here, because it is kind of tucked away. Here we go. Okay, so I will say that plans have kind of changed. There will now be 10 episodes instead of 8. I can definitively say that. And I have little singular word hints for what each of these episodes will be about, technically. Some of them are pretty on the nose, but some of them are a little bit more vague. So here we go. So we already know what episode 1 is, beginning. That's very simple. But episode 2, part 1, awakening. We have episode 2, part 2, garden. Episode 3 is rapture. Episode 4 is search. Episode 5 is episode, funnily enough. Episode 6 is nightmare. Episode 7 is resist. Episode 8 part 1 is calamity. Episode 8 part 2 is death. Episode 9 is acceptance. And episode 10 is love.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So obviously you put a lot of thought into this, and I have no idea. Like your words are all over, so I'm very interested in where this is gonna take us. So that's exciting. So you did also mention that. Well, actually, when are you hoping to have episode 2 out?
Right. So since it's 2 weeks in the past that episode 1 has come out, I plan on hoping to have episode 2 out in the next like 2 weeks, roughly. If not, that might be stretched by 3. So hopefully within the next half a month. That's the plan.
And where will you be like announcing or updating
right.
when you've got that coming?
So I'm going to be announcing it all over Discords. I'm going to be announcing it on TikTok. I'm going to be announcing it on Instagram and on Facebook once I make the Facebook. And then probably what'll happen is I'll upload an update right before, to just kind of like go over some things, go over the fact that 1.5k viewers on a video on 100 subscriber channel is insane. And just general stuff like that before the episode comes out, just to see if we can, keep building up hype, see if people get interested,
All right, awesome. So people can follow you in those places, follow late FGC, so they
Yeah.
can see what's coming. Okay, and they can also, just like to share, like, hey, spread the word. Like if you're listening to this or you've listened or watched it on YouTube, go ahead and spread the love. Right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
what we should all be doing for each other with anybody in creative endeavors, right? That's how you support each other and support other artists. So
Exactly.
if anyone can share it, that'd be great. So curious, what do you see? So you've got these 10 episodes that you're planning on doing. What do you think you're going to do after that?
Well, the plan is to see generally what this reception is for the entirety of volume 1. If the reception is good, if people like it, if people really want to see more, I will consider a volume 2. However, I really would prefer this to be a volume 1 only, and maybe spin-off stories to be a part of it. I won't go into too much, but there's going to be a lot of really dark, deep stuff that's going to happen in the later parts of the story that might affect people's opinion if a volume 2 does come out. So I wouldn't want to overmake a story.
Okay,
If that's
I'm
the right way.
definitely even more intrigued now. So you're leaving a lot of like, what does all of this mean? What's coming for everybody?
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Okay, so you've shared a lot. You've shared a lot about yourself. You've shared a lot about the project you're doing and how to follow you, and all of those things. I have a question for you. I know you and I have talked about this, but you also you mentioned that you draw and stuff as well. Are you planning on incorporating any of your artwork or drawings into this at all?
Yeah, so we did see a bit of my artwork in the teaser episode like a month or two ago. And then we did see some artwork in the just singular plaque that was on episode 1. Excuse me. However, I do think I will probably be doing more drawings for the future episodes, kind of in relation to the scenes as they come. I've been sketching a lot, trying to just get myself back into practice with my drawings, and I'm really liking how it's feeling. And so I think it's very possible that each scene could have its own or 2 drawings. I don't want to push it though, so if that doesn't turn out to be the case, don't be disappointed.
Well, I'm your mom, so
Okay, I understand that
I
you're
might
gonna be
keep pushing you.
disappointed.
I'm no, not disappointed. I just might be like, but I love your art. I want to see it. No, but I think it's great.
I
Hey, you
digress.
do, you do. It's
Yeah.
great. No. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you spending the time chatting with me today, telling me a little more about what you're doing and what inspired you, and a little bit more about you. And it's fun for me to have this type of conversation with you. That's not just like me being your mom, but actually like talking to you as an artist. So
Right.
so thanks, Byron. Looking forward to seeing episode 2, episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
All
10.
of them, yeah.
Looking forward to seeing all of it, and I think it's awesome what you've done. So like I said,
I
everybody, if you
appreciate
have
that.
not listened already, take a listen. I'm sure Byron will be populating the link, or putting the
Yeah.
link to access it so that you can see it if you haven't yet, and spread the love, share with your friends.
And make sure, so the link for the episode is going to be up in that corner over that way above my mom's head. And
Right
then
here.
make sure for future content, if you want to see more audio stories, if you want to see more fighting game content, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit that like button.
Smash it.
Oh yeah, smash it. And then
Smash it.
make sure to hit the bell
Smash it.
so that you get notifications for my uploads.
Yep.
And I hope to see you soon.
Yep. I know, I'm excited about it. So I will be there watching and supporting. All right. Thanks, Byron. And thanks, everybody, for listening to our interview today. Looking forward to doing this again soon.
Hope to see you again on The Demon Who Owns a Garden.
The
See
Demon
ya.
Owns a Garden.
Late FGC signing off. Adios.